All right. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. What a beautiful Saturday it is with Ryan Tannehill driving down the field on the Cincinnati Bengals. All right. I am your host, Kims. Of course, I've changed my name to The Voice. So you guys will reference me as The Voice. With me, I have Wally West. I have Vincent. And, we haven't seen him in a while. We haven't seen him in a while, so now we also have Devin. He might change his name from All Rounder because he hasn't been here in a while. So he'll change out the All Rounder name. But how we doing tonight, gentlemen?
I'm under pressure, you. Because I have Cincinnati, I'm under pressure.
Well, well, well,
Well,
well,
they
well
make a
them
big
just
stop
them
on a
just
fourth
stop Derek.
down.
Them,
Mm.
yeah, them just stop Derek Henry upon the fourth down. You have to do quarterback run on one of those. So let us start talking about this game. Um, you know, and let us talk about Zach Taylor, the Cincinnati coach, and what I like about Cincinnati now because I think his first 2 seasons, I think he won a combined 6 games, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of persons in Cincinnati was calling for his job. As usual, people don't have a lot of patience and they say, oh, fire him. But one thing I noticed with the NFL, is that if you have the right quarterback, you will get some success in the NFL. You have to have the right quarterback. If you don't look at the coaches that have gotten fired, they have not got the right quarterback. They have not got the right quarterback. And then look at all of the coaches that who make
Now,
the playoffs.
you know, put an exception to that.
Who's
You
the
sure you want to
exception?
put an exception? I, what's
And
that
that way I
player?
say,
He,
he
he,
might
are you,
forget Miami, man. He might forget Miami.
No,
right,
Miami is a separate case, man.
right.
Miami is a separate case.
I agree.
Miami has turmoil between the GM and the coach and all of them stuff. The owner and the coach, and so the coach had to go. But let us talk about Joe Burrow, and I want to start with Vincent because that is his game, right? And let us just look at his history. He was at Ohio State. Was the backup. Decided that, man,
Went to
it's not
LSU.
working out for me. I want to go to the NFL. So he transferred, went to LSU, had arguably the best college season
College
ever,
season.
quarterback.
Beat the great
And then
Alabama.
now, not only beat Alabama, whop Alabama. Right
Yeah.
now, then he transitioned into the NFL. When he
Hmm.
transitioned into the NFL, he was playing good football, got injured, came back now, the best team in a strong AFC, and now he's trying to lead his team to the AFC Championship. So, what is the ceiling that you see for Joe Burrow right now?
Um. Well, as you know, Joe Barrow, for me and Kems, we have been looking at both Joe Barrow and Tua. Looking for over the next 5 years. We said after I leave college, Kems, who would be the better
Mm-hmm.
quarterback? So
Yes,
we have
sir.
been looking each year and having discussion each year and both. Um, Joe Barrow is a good quarterback. I wouldn't put him in Rogers league, saying that he's a Rogers type of quarterback, but he's a very good quarterback. I believe that is able to lead its team to an NFL championship. I do believe that he can with the right team around him. And as you begin the podcast by saying that, boy, the truth is NFL is a quarterback league. There has been probably 3 or 4 teams in NFL history that has ever won the championship with a poor quarterback. Probably the last one I can remember was Baltimore Ravens, which had that defense was probably the best defense the league has ever
Ever.
seen. You
Yeah,
understand?
absolute,
Even though I hear
absolutely.
people talk about that Bears defense, but that Baltimore defense was ridiculous, right? But
Yes, sir.
I mean, Joe Burrow has been steady. You understand? And as you said, the
Mm.
coach didn't do as well the first 2 years. Then he got a Barrow, and you can see what they are doing now with that Joe Barrow, how they has progressed. You understand? I believe
Mm-hmm.
that he has led his team well. I believe that he's very steady around there. I believe he can make the necessary throw to get them to where they need to go. And
Absolutely.
and I believe he's going to. I mean, the team is good enough now, and they seem to be able to win this game. And I am rooting for them to win this game, even though I had Tennessee initially, right? But Joe Burrow is a good quarterback,
All
and
right.
better than quite a more quarterback that is in the league.
Absolutely. And, I was watching an interview with his coach, Zach Taylor, today. And what his coach said is that when they're doing audibles, he gives Joe Burrow a lot of leeway in it. So if he calls a play and Joe Burrow doesn't like the play, he gives Joe Burrow the authority to change the play. And to have a quarterback head coach relationship like that, I mean, is absolutely sensational. And I believe that is, one of the keys. And I've spoke about it on several forums, Vincent, and I said, hey, if
Hmm.
you are not, as a quarterback, no matter how good you are, if you are not
Hmm.
under the right coach, if you are not in the right culture, there's only a certain number of quarterbacks. The
Few,
Tom Brady's, the Aaron
yeah,
Rodgers.
few. Not even
There's only a certain number of quarterbacks that.
and I would even put Tom Brady in there as much as I rate him as the greatest quarterback the league has played. I believe the start he
Mhm,
got in New England was necessary for his future, given where he was drafted and how he was progressed along. Because the truth is, Tom Brady pretty much have all the record now. But that first 2, 3 years when he just started, Tom Brady was more a game manager to what he is now. You understand? I remember that first year, especially those first 2 years in New England.
mhm,
The coach really
mhm.
bring him along to where he has now blossomed
Yep.
into what he is. You understand? And I believe the greatest quarterback, given the fact that he has all the record, all the championship, all the trophy, you can't deny him that. Not my quarterback, wouldn't be the quarterback that I love the most, but I can't deny him that. But you are correct in that very few quarterback in this league is able to
Hold
make
on.
and change play and do a lot of things that a coach would want the quarterback to do.
Kim's Freezo.
Oh, games reason. You understand? But me don't know, I mean, Wally, even as before until Kems come back, you can what you think about Barrow?
Well, the thing is that I just picking up on what Kim's was saying in terms of the latitude that the coach gives Burrow at the line of scrimmage when it comes to audibles. You can only afford that sort of luxury if you have job security, right? If you don't have tenure, then what it means is that you're always trying to show that you are the one that is orchestrating what is happening on offense. You want it to
Mhm.
be clear in no uncertain terms that it is your imprint that is why what is happening on the field is happening. But because they I remember listening to an interview, or it was an article, can't remember right now, but pretty much the GM came out and said, boy, this coach is our guy, just give him some time. And with that sort of
Mhm.
assurance, no, he didn't feel the need to, okay, I have to show
Mhm.
that I am the super genius
Mhm.
coach. And he gives Burrow the latitude to shine. So I think
Mhm.
that's very, very important. That's a very important to note in terms of GM. You back who you bring in after you bring in the person. You as a GM get out of the way, and you let the coach do what he does. And when the coach has that security, he has more freedom to let the quarterback express himself, make mistakes, and so on. So I think that Kim spoke earlier about culture. I think it's a fantastic culture at the Bengals right now, which Burrow is thriving in.
The back Kems.
Kim's freeze up
Oh, him
again.
read him. Yeah, but you are correct. And I mean, even as I hear you talk, I don't know sometimes why coaches believe that um they need to prove. I just remind, and as I hear you talk, I was remembering the Dallas game with the Dallas assistant who got interviewed for coach, and he was calling these plays, trying to I even know prove or show that you're a genius or whatever you believe it is, instead of just call the game. You understand? And I mean, Devin, you can come in terms of looking at these quarterback and the coaches that they have and how they work with them, you know?
So Wally mentioned something about being tenured and having
Mm-hmm.
the latitude to do certain things. That is correct. But like with Zach Taylor and Joe
Mm-hmm.
Kems mentioned the relationship about
Mm-hmm.
if he doesn't like a play and he gives him the authority to change it. And
Mm-hmm.
Wally was saying like, okay, well, he has to have some form of security from management.
Mm-hmm.
But with Zach Taylor, if you check his history and the commentators were talking about it, and
Mm-hmm.
building up to the game, they were talking about a relationship with Taylor and Tannehill. Because
Mm-hmm.
Taylor and Tannehill, they were together at Texas A&M, and then they were
No,
reunited
it was Texas. It was Texas Tech. Texas
Texas.
Tech.
Yeah, sorry, not Texas. Yeah, Texas
Yeah.
Tech, right?
Yeah.
Then I think he was an assistant coach in
And
Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins.
They get reunited, but they're saying even after that, the nature of Taylor, he's a guy where he's a people person. You know what I mean? He's not like no Belichick. I'm just interpreting like a Belichick who's like, it's either my way or the highway. It gives you room.
Okay.
A Democratic, more like a laissez-faire type of leader. The
Okay.
mix in between. So even though what he was saying, he has to have that tenure from the organization to do that. I just think that's the nature of the guy. That's the nature of the guy where, he builds a relationship. You'll set some play cards, but he builds a relationship. And he has a good relationship with Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow, going to Joe Burrow as a player, I think, he's a really great quarterback. And somebody mentioned, I don't know who we were talking. I don't think the show started about getting the monkey off the back where Matthew Stafford is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But like with him and his ceiling and how we judge him, man, since 1990 something, I think, Cincinnati Bengals always been to the playoffs. And I've been watching football in the 90s, but I've been watching when Dalton was there.
Mm-hmm.
Always in the playoffs. Can't get a win in the playoffs. So one of his he has gotten a win in the playoffs so far, right?
Yeah. They got a win last year, right? Yeah, they get a win this year. Well, they win this year.
So we can say,
Yeah,
Yeah.
organization whole
Yeah.
he kind of get the monkey off the back. Not his back, but the entire organization.
Organization. Okay. Mm-hmm.
With Dalton was there getting in every year, but like that's it. Everybody know that it doesn't matter who they play. With Dalton and Cincinnati, it may not be just Dalton's fault. It's going to be a loss for the first round once they reach there. But Joe Burrow has overcome that, so that's a great achievement so far.
Absolutely.
So I just want to jump in on something, Devin. Just the fact you mentioned Bill, and just comparing the two coaches. When you listen to how the media speaks about both Joe Burrow and Matt Jones, you hear some similarities in terms of their poise in the pocket. But for me, I think that even if they have the same potential, I think ultimately Burrow is going to reach his ceiling than Matt Jones, because I think Bill is over managing Matt Jones. He's over managing Matt Jones and not giving him that not, to me, he's not building that enabling him to build that confidence in himself to thrive.
No, Wally. So I disagree, right? So I disagree for a number of reasons. So first of all, I don't know who you were watching that were comparing Matt Jones and Joe Burrow, but I've never seen that comparison. The thing that they have often.
No man, I'm just saying the commentary on both of them. One of the things that's mentioned is your poise in the pocket.
Okay, because so Matt Jones from Alabama, right? And again, Joe Burrow went to LSU. But I believe Joe Burrow's ceiling is super high, and I think Matt Jones have more of a low floor than a high ceiling, right? But again, he's in the Patriot system, the Patriot way. So I believe they're going to do the same thing that they did with Tom Brady. Don't let Tom Brady have that much responsibilities and run the football and play tough defense. I think that is what they're going to do until Matt Jones can come off his own. In this Cincinnati team, they can't afford for Joe Burrow to do that. Joe Burrow has to throw the ball. And that is why they went out and they drafted Jamar Chase, because obviously they were friends in high school. They were college teammates at LSU, so they have a connection. So they wanted to get him as much offensive weapons as possible. For Matt Jones, they just really want to just run the ball and make him make one or two throws. As we see against the Bills, when he made those throws, they were often intercepted. So I kind of disagree with the Matt Jones and Joe Burrow thing, but I understand what you're saying. Poise in the pocket. But what I want to go on, and I want to start with you, Wally, because you have called this guy force ripe. So let us say if Aaron Rodgers lose to Jimmy Garoppolo tonight, if he loses to Jimmy G tonight, what would we be talking about? What will we be talking about should Aaron Rodgers lose to Jimmy G tonight?
Well, if he again, it would be for to use the terminology a bust, because there are persons who have Rodgers as the runaway MVP. Some have Tom Brady in the conversation. He has as it relates to arm talent, he is without peer at this point in time, and many would say that all time he's without peer as it relates to arm talent. He has no excuse this season. The offensive line is on point. The defense is playing. He got back Randall Cobb. He's running his little plays with his tight end. His mobility is fantastic. Devontae Adams still top 3 receiver for the season. So there's no reason for him at the very least to reach the Super Bowl. At the very least. So it would be classified a failure if he does not at minimum get to the Super Bowl. But as it relates to his legacy, for me, it doesn't change it because I have him as number 3 all time. And nothing that happens this season would move him ahead of Peyton Manning or Tom Brady.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. And Vincent, I want to get to you because if you remember, I believe it was 2005. I think he was drafted in 2005, right? Yeah, I think he was drafted in 2005, and then he thought that he was going to be the number 1 overall pick. But the San Francisco 49ers end up drafting Alex Smith. They drafted Green Bay drafted Aaron Rodgers 24th. When they interviewed Aaron Rodgers, he said how disappointed is he that he wasn't the number 1 pick. He said, and I quote, "Not as disappointed as the 49ers will be that they didn't draft me." All right? So far, Aaron Rodgers is 0-3 in the playoffs against the 49ers. 0-3 against the 49ers.
Wow.
He got whopped in 2019 in the NFC Championship game. There was another game. 2 times he lost to Colin Kaepernick as well, right? And we can say, his defense or whatever. But I believe right now San Francisco is looking and saying, I don't think we're sorry. We already made it to 2 Super Bowls without you. You made it to 1 Super Bowl. So I think 49ers have the upper hand right now. So
he has won one. Well, he has won one. 49ers have. They have lost both of them that they have been to.
Oh yeah, 49ers
both. Listen, Aaron Rodgers, and even as you mentioned Aaron Rodgers, I always remember Stephen always talk about that bad man. And people see Aaron Rodgers as one of the best quarterback the league has ever seen. And I believe that if he should lose this game, and as Wally said earlier, no excuse. His defense, whereas the previous years we were saying that the defense wasn't there, he has a defense. The line is working. He has the persons to throw to. If he should lose this game, him just going to be seen as a boss. You understand? He will be seen not as a boss. Let me not put it as a boss. He will be seen as a great quarterback that never made it well in the playoff. Apart from that one championship, he will be seen as a regular season quarterback more so than postseason quarterback. You understand? In fact, you probably could start putting him in the class of even Peyton. I believe Peyton has failed in the playoffs for a number of years. I mean, 1-1, went to Denver, win another one. But I believe he has failed. Given how these quarterback would have performed during the season, it would be an epic failure for him. You understand? He has no reason not to beat San Francisco tonight. But listen, that San Francisco team is a team that is whew,
Yep.
tough.
I believe that San Francisco team is definitely the Achilles heel of Green Bay right now. I think if Green Bay could have handpicked, I think they'd have picked every other team apart from San Francisco. And with that being said, I want to get to you, Devin, because I want to get on the other side. I want to get on Jimmy G, right? Because Jimmy G has been a grown up, has been very mature. They drafted Trey Lance. I don't know if you remember when they drafted Aaron Rodgers, how Brett Favre was going on. When they started talking about drafting a quarterback in Pittsburgh, how Big Ben was acting. Everybody was just acting like big babies. But Jimmy Garoppolo has been a constant grown up, has not shown any bad feelings, no ill feelings, whether he's playing or not. He's showing constant support. The man has won 65% of his games with Kyle Shanahan, right? So I'm saying now, when we take a look at Jimmy G, he already won a playoff game against Dallas. He's going up to Lambeau. If Jimmy G wins this game, Devin, do you think the 49ers be like, boy, we have to make Trey Lance stay a little bit more, and we have to just ride the wave with Jimmy G because these guys are constant winner? Or do you believe that no matter what, Jimmy G is out of San Francisco?
So Kems, I'm glad you asked that question. Brilliant question, because I was watching one of them NFL show recently because I've been busy recently.
One second.
Barrows has won his second. Barrows has won his second playoff game.
Joe Cool, man. Joe Cool.
I'm gonna get up here now, man.
The Bengals have won.
Yeah.
Walk off field goal. Walk off field goal.
Yeah, walk off field goal.
This kicker is money, man. This kicker is money.
Yeah, man.
That 52 yard that under pressure,
Under immense pressure. Well, I don't think he's under pressure because if you
if you miss it, you go to overtime. You go to overtime.
But Ryan Tannehill threw 3 picks, and I want people to come tell me that he's a good quarterback in this. But we'll talk about. We'll talk about that real soon. But
sorry, him change the next pick? Sorry, I never see it.
No, the last one. Right a while ago, him throw a pick. Well, the receiver missed it, and the receiver, it come off the receiver hand. And Cincinnati pick it off at the 50.
You can't beat the man for that, man. Oh, gosh.
No, all right, Wally. All right, Devin, I'm going to make you answer the question. But Wally, and again, this is what I tell you about football IQ. The man threw the ball, the receiver was double covered. The man threw the ball in a double coverage. With 1 minute and odd left in the game, me personally, I'm not throwing that ball. I'm not throwing that ball. With my defense playing great, I prefer to do a check down. And if I can't get the first down, I punt the ball and allow my defense to make a stop. I am not throwing that ball into
Sorry, what down was it?
The third down. Third down with 30 seconds leave on the clock. And him throw it, it was about 30-35 seconds leave on the clock. Throw it in a double coverage. Cincinnati get the receiver, hit him on next DB, pick it off at the 50 yard. Barrow make a 15-yard pass and get them into field goal range.
Yeah, so that's a with the game tied and the potential for overtime. That's a poor decision.
And I will talk about it in other sports, situational awareness. We have to, and that is why I cannot give Ryan Tannehill big money. This is why I cannot rate Ryan Tannehill at all. And I bet my money on him, like a big fool. I bet my money on him like a big fool and lose my money. But I should just keep my money in my pocket because I just know that this man just wouldn't come through at all. But hey, let's get back to the matter.
Yeah, so I was saying, I'm Kim. So this guy on I don't know them show, the NFL show, he was said earlier in the season, he was adamant. He was one of those who was saying, no matter what, Trey Lance should be getting a lot of snaps because you can't draft a guy that high and you don't have him there, and then he's the future, and he was just going against. He was the only one, going against Jimmy G. But everybody was saying, and like me, I'm a Jimmy G fan, Yo, he went to the Super Bowl, right? Got beat in the Super Bowl. People will make the criticism to say, all right, yeah, it was a defense, it was all the other players that was around him. But that's the key for everybody else. You can't do it by yourself. You have to have good supporting cast. This season again, everybody talking about giving Trey Lance, and the guys there didn't make any fuss. Didn't show that he was upset. He's getting the job done, doing what he's supposed to do, and he's here in the playoffs again. If he beats Aaron Rodgers in this game, who is supposed to be like the favorite, him and the team supposed to be favorite to go all the way with the Super Bowl. You can't let go that man, Kems. Playing on street, you can't let go that man. Even though people may have different views about how he is as a quarterback and whatever, getting the job done, So I wouldn't if he brings this team, if he wins this game alone, to answer your question, I would keep him, because this is like you're upset. It would be an upset, and you're basically knocking out like the big favorites according to the bookies and everybody, because Green Bay is the favorite to take it on.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So Elton Gardner is saying Ryan Tannehill in a different team would look worse than Terry Bradshaw.
I'm not understanding.
Was Terry Bradshaw bad?
Terry Bradshaw is a 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback.
4-time, yeah, and that's quite a few. And I've heard a few people sometimes try to diss Terry Bradshaw, and I talk about it was the Steelers defense. But I don't even know why I would have made that statement. Terry Bradshaw was a good quarterback. Was a very good quarterback.
All right. Yeah. So Gary, good night and welcome to the show.
Yeah, man, bless you.
I know you have been critical of Jimmy G. You have been critical of him. The last game, you've been critical of him when they were playing the Rams, and you said that the Rams sell out the game so that the 49ers can go through. But let us face the facts. This man currently right now is playing in the hardest division in football, I believe. You have the Arizona Cardinals, you have the Rams, you have the Seattle Seahawks. Like, they're playing in the hardest division. They have some of the best coaches out there. Sean McVay and all them people. So, I believe that we are a bit too hard. And let us not forget, Jimmy G is not even 28 years old. So let us not even forget that. So I believe we're being too hard on this quarterback. But I'll ask you the same question I asked Devin. Should Jimmy G get this victory today? Right? Jimmy G get this victory today. Would you keep him on the 49ers, just say, let's run it back another year? Because obviously the 49ers were banged up a lot, but they have a lot of weapons. Would you say, let's run it back one more year and see where it goes? Or no matter what happens, we're going to give Trey Lance the keys to the car?
All right. When you look at the NFL, it's a lot of the time it's basically situational when you have your quarterbacks, in a current system. I'm not a big fan of Jimmy G, as you know. But
Terry Bridgewater. He said you meant Terry Bridgewater. Because I was like, Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. Okay, well, understand that. So as I was saying, it's situational. Jimmy G has went to the Super Bowl with the Niners in the past. When it looks like they were gonna make the playoffs, this season basically they were last in the division, and they ended up scraping through in the end. Winning some key games and critical moments. And I think based on where they were in the season at one point, I think they have, basically the person who said they overachieved because they weren't expected to be there. The Niners have a very good team, very, very good team. Receivers, weapons. That guy Deebo Samuel is explosive. They talk about all-purpose weapon. They give him the ball in the backfield. I think he had about 8 rushing touchdowns this season, which is the NFL record for the most for a wide receiver. That man can come out of the backfield. That man can burst up the seam. He can, outside the numbers. He does everything. I think he accounts for about 65% of the Niners offense. And you have Ayuk, and you have Kittle, who's top receiver. Probably, some people would rate him up there with with Kelsey and my guy there. What's the other one? But yes, he's a top 3 receiver in this league. Tight end. Yes. He's a top tight end in this league. So I'm looking at the Niners team, and basically persons would have them as one of the, they don't have an elite quarterback, but basically I would say if Jimmy G, wins this game, even if they don't win this game, I think the Trey Lance right now is not the option, because when we have seen him in the game so far that he has replaced Jimmy G, he has not done well. He's looked really bad. I think his style of play is more like one of those running type quarterbacks. The system that they have in place now, they would have to build something around him.
Absolutely.
To actually, they would have to change the 49ers, system and schemes to actually fit him in. So I don't think Trey Lance is the answer right now, as much as I'm not a fan of Jimmy G, but if he gets the job done, I think they would hang around with him and see what will happen in the future. But basically, I would move on from Jimmy G regardless, because as I said, Trey Lance is not a better option. So you move on from a current option for something better. So in the current stage, comparing Jimmy G and Trey Lance, as much as I'm not a fan of Jimmy G, you cannot have. I don't see the upside to Trey Lance versus Jimmy G right now. So unless you're getting one of these, and there's no quarterback in the draft, that you would basically risk anything for, unless you trade him, Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on. Hold on, Gary. So you have to remember, the 49ers gave up 3 first-round picks. They gave up 3 first-round picks to get Trey Lance. So I don't think they're just going to get Trey Lance and then go and try
and get back in the draft, which makes sense. Yeah. So there's no options in the draft anyway, based on what they have done.
Yes, it's a poor draft. It's a poor draft. This draft is not a quarterback draft. It's more of offensive line, defensive line, corners kind of draft, and a wide receiver draft. So there's no standard quarterback in this draft. So but Wally, I want to analyze the game a bit, because one of the 49ers' weakness, the 49ers do a lot of things great, but one of their main weaknesses is at corner, right? And if you know Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, one of the strongest things that they have going for them is that back shoulder throw. And I know if you guys watched the game today, you were talking about it constantly with even Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, because that is one of the plays that no defender can, like you cannot stop it. The back shoulder throw, the back shoulder feed, you just cannot stop it, right? And even in the 49ers versus the Cowboys game, I was listening to Troy Aikman, and he was saying CD Lamb was getting one-on-one coverage every single time with those corners, and that could not throw him the ball. And Troy Aikman said, hey, if that was me and Michael Irvin would have at least 10 catches over 100 yards in the first half, because I'm throwing him the ball every single time, right? We know that Aaron Rodgers won't shy away from throwing Devontae Adams the ball on every single play if the defense don't change it around. So I want to get you guys picks, and if you want to tell some analysis as well, we can go ahead. But Wally, who wins this game and why?
So I look at it in 2 ways. One, if Green Bay scores early, which I expect them to, then the 49ers will have to go away from their bread and butter, which is the run game, and put the game in Jimmy G's hands, and we know the result of that, right? He is not the quarterback that can lead a team to victory, right? With the weaknesses at corner that the 49ers have, we won't be seeing, Aaron Rodgers won't need the back shoulder throw, because Devontae Adams will always be able to create that separation. There's no corner on the roster now who is able to keep up with Devontae Adams. So Rodgers won't even need to use that, because for me, based on the weakness, I think they're going to double Adams all game. They're going to double Adams all game. They will not make the mistake of giving Adams single coverage. So the only way I see 49ers winning is if their defense and special teams make some plays, and then the run game kind of, and then Deebo Samuel gets to make some splash plays. But if the defense holds, and really is able to contain Deebo Samuel, it will be a long night for the 49ers, especially with Rodgers firing on all cylinders, getting the points, and then the game will rest in Jimmy G's hands, which is not their strength.
All right, so give me who. All that being said, you still don't tell me who you think will win the game.
Yep. So I said 14. I said Green Bay.
Green Bay. Yep. All right. Do you have a spread? Green Bay by 5, Green Bay by 12, Green Bay by 1.
Green Bay by 5.
Green Bay by 5. All right. So Vincent, let me get to you, right? In week 3, these two teams play, and if you can remember correctly, Green Bay. Same thing what Wally right here is saying, Green Bay shut out of the blocks. They were up 10-0, right? And I think Jimmy G threw 2 picks in that game. And at the end of the day, they still needed Aaron Rodgers' heroics in the last to drive the team down there in 30 seconds to get a field goal to win the game, right? With all that being said, right? So again, I just think the 49ers is an Achilles heel for Green Bay and for Aaron Rodgers, right? But with this game, who do you see winning this game? And do you think that Matt LaFleur, what would I say, his cowardness, do you think that can come back to haunt Green Bay?
All right. For me, and as you know, because I always tell you, so the very, very first team that had me watching NFL was the 49ers. So there has always been a side that I love. The truth is, I listened to what Wally said a while ago, and I remember the last game of the seasons for 49ers to get in. They were down 17-0 to the Rams. The Rams have a good, fairly good defense, even though they can't stop the run. So that was a big problem for them. And they had good wideouts. Just like, and if you look at the Rams and you look at Green Bay, I believe the difference is Aaron Rodgers. And even though it pained me, I will say Green Bay should win only because of Aaron Rodgers. And that's the only reason I'm going to pick them. You understand? The 49ers defense is very, very good. Even though the corner is not good, that front seven is, trust me, them good. Right? And I believe, though, I am going to give Rodgers, I believe him earn it, the benefit of the doubt that they will win. I will say by at least a touchdown. I'm going to say by at least a touchdown. But it wouldn't surprise me if 49ers get to Rodgers. It's going to be a long night for Green Bay.
All right. So the spread, so quickly, because the game soon starting. So the spread is 5.5. So you are telling me that I can put a money on it to go ahead and win some money on the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I believe you can.
All right, and if I lose it, I'll be messaging you privately so I can get my money.
Yeah, man, and Wally will send you your money.
Wait, no, man,
stay upon the mean.
All right, so check me, right? So does anyone on this panel have, because we have some other games that we need to attend to, anyone on this panel have 49ers winning tonight? Anyone pulling the upset?
No.
All right, no one. All
I
right, Devin,
would look for them to win, so I can pressure you. But
all right, so Devin, I want to start with you for this game. I want to preview Tampa versus the Rams, and obviously they played in season, and the score was closer than the game was actually, because the Rams ran over them. Aaron Donald had his way, and they didn't have Von Miller at that time. They didn't have Odell Beckham at that time. And now I believe the Rams are finding their way. They have Cam Akers back to match him with Sony Michel. And I think going to Tampa in that warm, nice weather, same weather that's in SoFi, I believe it is time for that goat to get curried. What say you?
I'm going with the goat. You know, I'm going with a lot of people are thinking, yo, this is gonna be upset because Rams gonna beat them because they beat them in that time. But like when you look at this team overall, you know, they have weapons all over. They have a good second. Both teams have good secondary. They have y'all know the weapons. But
Yeah.
it come down to, for me, with most of these games, when the teams are even in the match, it comes down to the quarterback.
Quarterback.
I'm gonna pick Tom Brady over Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford got that win in the playoffs, which is good, get the monkey off his back. Just like I was saying earlier in the previous game. Give me Joe Burrow over Tannehill.
Tannehill.
You get what I'm saying? So
Mm.
with that, and plus, if this game was an away game for Tampa, I would have probably go with the Rams. But at home, they beat them up, and I don't think you're gonna beat Tom Brady again with Mike Evans and everybody else that they have. I'm just going with the GOAT. Like Vincent was saying earlier, one of the only main reasons he's going with Green Bay is because of Aaron Rodgers. I'm going with Tampa because of the GOAT.
Okay. All right.
Simple as that.
I don't think
I'll leave all the analysts and all the stats and everything to Gary, because Gary I've been promoting them heavily. Yeah, so Gary can cover all of that. Yeah.
Devin, I don't think your dog agree with you in the background, you know.
The dog.
The dog is saying, no, you're talking about some nonsense. All right. So let me get Dwayne and Elton Gardner is saying he feels that the 49ers will win by 3. All right, we'll see that. The game starts in a second. So Dwayne, you have been quiet. Good night, boss. I want to get your opinion on this one because Matthew Stafford, I think he's tied the league for most interceptions. He threw 17. He threw 17 interceptions. But with the run game, with a superstar coach in Sean McVay, with the defense, remember, any team that has the D line that what the Rams have always give Tom Brady trouble. When we talk about the Saints,
Giants.
we'll talk about the Saints. When we talk about the Giants,
The Giants.
when we talk about these teams that Tom Brady, he can't go back in the pocket and ballerina around there and twirl and having fun. No, these people are coming after you. Aaron Donald, Van Miller, all these boys are coming after you. Do you agree with Devin that Tampa will win this game?
You know that I have the Ram for the upset, and I'm gonna tell you why, right?
Tell me why.
Tampa is banged up, especially at those
Offensive line.
position,
Mm-hmm.
especially those tackles. And if they're gonna have to double team Donald, because that's the outside rushers, they don't really give Tom Brady a lot of problem. He hates the pressure coming up the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they can put pressure, that's what the Saints did in those games. They don't have to blitz, because if you blitz Tom Brady, he's gonna kill you, right? So they're gonna use the front four to rush him up the middle, get him off his spot. And remember, I can tell you this. Mike Evans will be covered by Jalen Ramsey, right? So
all night,
all night, right? And
Heard that before.
Grant can get some catches still, but he don't have that explosiveness that he used to have before. So the key to this game for the Ram is to get Tom Brady off his spot and then use those two running backs. Don't let it become a Matthew Stafford game like what happened today with Tennessee and Tannehill. So once they get that running, even though Tampa is good, but to me, the Ram is more healthy. They're a better team. The only weakness I see on the Rams is Matthew Stafford. Sometimes he makes some little plays that you wonder. He can make all the throws, but then sometimes you see make some throws, you're like, because that's what got the 49ers in that game.
Absolutely.
Stafford. So, but I'm going with the upset because I think that the Rams is just a better team, and this the scoreboard in the last game did not really reflect that game. They totally outplayed the
Tom Brady.
Buccaneers, and the
Of course.
Buccaneers was
Absolutely.
at full strength at that time, and they're banged up on
Absolutely.
defense too.
Absolutely. So, Gary, I'm going to save you for last, Gary, because you know you will come with your stats and your this and your this. So let me save you for last. So Vincent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't want at this time of the year, every team is banged up. I don't want to hear no excuse about no offensive line. When Tom Brady was in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes,
Offensive line, why win?
It was me, you, Wally, and Devin trying to block for Patrick Mahomes. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any
Yeah.
excuse. I don't want to hear any excuse
No,
about
alright, but even Ken, before you go on, for me it is not an excuse. The bottom line is simple. This, and you mentioned the Super Bowl. I knew Tampa would have won the Super Bowl because Chiefs 2 tackle went down in that playoff. So I knew that they were gonna lose that Super Bowl. You understand? And just like now, I know that Tampa is saying they are waiting up until the last hour before they determine if that, I think is what, the left tackle or something like that is out. But right now the center and right, so them bang up. My only concern is Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is capable of throwing 2 picks in that game. One of them for a pick six, and that is my only concern. You understand? That's my only concern in the game. You understand? I have Rams winning that game easily, but Matthew Stafford is a headache. He is capable of throwing 2 picks that will cost them the game, and that's the only thing I'll say about the game. I have Rams winning it, but
all right, wonderful, wonderful. So let me get to Wally now because you know Wally has been drinking Tom Brady's bathwater for the longest while. Every single post. Hey, Vincent, I don't know if you see, hey, Vincent, I don't know if you see this man on Facebook, you know.
Yeah, man, me see, man.
We're my vice president, man.
The truth is, Kev, you can't argue with him, Kev. That's why I believe him. When me see him, me not even argue with him.
We not understand all that narrative.
I'm going to, hey, Vincent, I see Tom Brady make a throw against the hopeless Eagles. You know what I say, Wally comment? Yo, look at the goat, so surgical. Oh man, is he a surgeon? I'm saying the Eagles rank 25th in defense. It's not talking about surgical. I want to see these throws tomorrow evening, 3 p.m. So Wally, I'm going to give you a chance to talk now because hey, and I know Tom Brady has been to 10 Super Bowls. I know he have won 7 rings. But the fact of the matter is, I can't remember a ring that he has won where the defense wasn't good. And then you can remind me, I am young, so probably I miss it. I don't know. But every ring that he has won, the defense has played a significant role in those rings. Because even in that Super Bowl against, hold on, we're not finished talk, boss. You'll get a chance to talk, right? So no, the defense is not all that top notch. Don't let that Eagles thing fool you. The defense is not all that top notch, and now Tom Brady has to do more. Now there's no Antonio Brown. Now Chris Godwin is hurt. Now Gronk is a little bit older. Now Mike Evans have to now step up back to be that number 1 receiver. Now Leonard Fournette is out. Now your offensive line is a little bit banged up. Now you're getting to feel what other quarterbacks have felt for the longest while in the NFL. So no, I don't want to hear. When he loses tomorrow, I don't want to hear. Man, he was banged up because Tom Brady has run to Tampa to play with the most stacked team this NFL has ever produced. That team was so stacked, and he brought Antonio Brown with him. So now, Wally, tell me why you think that Tampa will win the game. Because I know you already have Tampa to win. So tell me why you think Tampa will win the game.
I need the producer to put back your cartoon from about a month ago. Right? Intellectual dishonesty.
Wally, you know what, Wally, I'm hand to defend you because you see this fella named Kim's is not going to get away. Don't worry yourself, man.
Mr. Producer, you have some fame.
No. This no. You see, when you look at when you listen to the narrative, right? The only persons who don't have Tom Brady as the GOAT are Aaron Rodgers supporters. Everybody else.
That is true.
Tom Brady, everybody know Cam Newton is my quarterback. And everybody knows Steelers is my team. I rooted against the Tom Brady for every Super Bowl except when they play the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the Chiefs were becoming too arrogant, right? I talk about dynasty and severing and all of them madness, right? So,
they remind you of another great.
Yeah. Arrogant. I wouldn't like arrogant. I don't like surprise.
Not one, not two, not three. But just to bring back the discussion home. No, Kems conveniently, was it the defense that brought back the Patriots from 25 points down against the Falcons?
Atlanta.
Yes, it was.
Was it the defense that did?
No,
Yes,
Kems.
it was.
The defense
Yes, it
scored the
was.
points and made on the deficit.
No, Kems.
No, Wally. The defense shut down the Falcons in the second half. If the Falcons did,
And Tom Brady still had to score the points. Let me give the man him credit, man. He still had to score the points.
Vincent, if the defense was playing as bad as they did in the first half,
Listen,
Tom Brady wouldn't get the opportunity.
it doesn't matter what we say. All right, it doesn't matter what we say. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback ever. He has all the records, all the championship, everything.
But you argue with somebody who agree with you. I'm just upbeat.
No, we are just disagreeing with Kems that Tom Brady has not been great in the playoff and hasn't lead his team. Even without, we know there have been a few years when New England have had probably top 8 defense, top 9 defense, when he has won 1 or 2 of those Super Bowls. Tom Brady has in Kems, let it go. We know you're a Rodgers fan, but let it go.
To be honest, Tom Brady has never won a Super Bowl without a top 10 defense. Check the stats.
And how many teams, there's a mantra that is used for NFL and NBA specifically when they say defense win championship. You need to go back and look as why that mantra is always said. Every single team that wins in the NFL or in the NBA normally have at least a top 5, top 6 defense. And that is why they say defense win championship.
Hold on. Plus, they have a good offense too. No team were the bottom 20.
Oh God, man! We just talked about Baltimore earlier. We win the NFL championship in 2002, I believe, without any offense at all. But it goes to show.
You think that type of defense can win championship in today's NFL?
Of course, if you are that good.
No, because the rule has changed. The rule changed. Them used to grab and hold and rough the pass and do all kind of things to knock people out of the game, Vincent. The game totally revolutionized towards the offense. So you can't even blow up on a wide receiver these days. Nobody never did go across the middle when Ray Lewis was over there. The middle of the field, not going across the middle.
All I say, Ray Lewis always.
He's a great.
Ray Lewis always says, no quarterback like to be hit, and that is what we'll face Tom Brady this Sunday. No quarterback like to be hit. Any Rams get to him, it's gonna be serious, and I do believe that they can, but let us see.
But
Okay,
but
all right.
like what you was mentioning though, you had mentioned Vincent that
Mm-hmm.
you had Matthew Stafford as the question mark, and
Yeah.
this is for that reason why I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have seen
Okay.
over and over
Okay.
Tom Brady deliver in the clutch. Right? This is
Mm-hmm.
really Matthew Stafford's first foray this deep into the postseason. I think he
Mm-hmm.
only won one playoff game with Megatron, if I remember correctly. One single
No, it
solitary
didn't. It
playoff.
didn't
No,
win.
No,
man,
he
he
never win.
didn't.
No,
No, he didn't win.
Never win.
no,
No,
no, David. Don't
Last
worry.
week was his
My
first
impression
win,
that they
Wally.
made the
First
playoff,
winner last week.
playoff
Word.
once.
Mm.
It's either they won one or they made the playoff one. Something
They
like
made
that.
the playoff
They
once
made
and
the
played
playoff
against
once.
Dallas.
Oh,
They
no,
should have win the game
hold
against
on.
Dallas.
Wally,
Yes. So
they were making the playoffs regularly. That is
No,
making the
they
playoffs
made
this
he
month.
made about 2 or 3 playoffs.
no
Yeah,
And
more,
they
all
should
of
have
them is
More than
regular.
that, man.
No man a
Guys,
3
When
man.
Marvin Lewis was the coach. I don't know
No
why
every
man, not Marvin
Cincinnati
Lewis.
Bengals.
Mix
every
them with
Yes,
some them.
Marvin Lewis was Cincinnati
Cincinnati.
coach. That was making the
Cincinnati.
playoff all the while with
oh
Dalton.
The
yeah,
coach was with the
yeah. That
Yeah.
Lions,
was mixing them. Yeah,
Mm,
Jim
mm,
Schwartz. I think they had Jim
mm,
Schwartz
Cincinnati
for a few
mm.
years.
Hey,
because
hey, hold on,
yeah, man,
hold on, there, hold on, there, hold on, there,
and
hold on, the
Detroit.
chief. Like, we sound like a very
Choir. Yeah, true.
disorganized choir. Everybody talking about the goat, the goat dude.
No man, put a
But
respect on the man name.
He man just a hater, man.
all I'm saying is, I just want to see. No, this all right. This for me again, and I'm going to move on to the Chiefs game really quickly because we have to switch over to the NBA podcast, right? So so check me out, right? All I want to see is that there is finally some adversity, right? Because last season he had zero adversity, none whatsoever. He had the best offense in the whole entire league. He had a top 2 defense in the whole entire league. All he had to do, like the man throw 3 picks in a game, and somebody else do worse than him. Like when that happened, it's just written in, it's just written. But this season, offensive line is banged up, wide receiving core is banged up. Now I want to see a greatness, and I don't want to hear about 44, 48, 50. I don't want to hear about none of that. Tomorrow, 3 p.m., I will be watching because Aaron Donald going to be dancing. And I want Wally, I want to see your comment telling me that, oh, the goat is so surgical. That is what I want to say. Because what you're going to say is, oops, another pick. All right, so let's move on to the next game, right? Quickly. So the Bills versus the Chiefs, right? Again, this is another game where, the Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season. But a lot of persons said, hey, the Chiefs wasn't the Chiefs at that time. The Chiefs, they gained back momentum. We see Travis Kelce coming into his own, Tyreek Hill being who he is. We see Patrick Mahomes getting back to his fun, sidearm pass, behind the back pass, all of that fancy stuff. I just want real quickly. I just want whoever think that the Bills is going to win. Can I see you guys, please? I want to talk to you guys first.
I have the Bills.
All
I
right.
have
So
the
you
Bills,
want Wally?
to be honest.
Oh,
I have the
I'll
Bills
share
too.
you.
With the last.
Okay. So Devin alone. So Devin is that man who just like pick the favorites. He just want the favorites. That's what you.
No,
So Devin,
listen.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go first. Why?
All right.
Why you think the Chiefs going to win?
So quickly, I'm not going to the stats like Gary, but just to mention a few things, right? Remember how the season started out. Bills started out like 5-1 or 4-1. Then I think they had a guy who went down, and then they lose about 5 games or 4 games after that. Then they come back strong at the back end, win some games, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the contrary, Chiefs started out poorly, and then they just start winning. They find what they form, they start winning.
Yep.
Right? So they have 2 great quarterbacks, and I remember watching what that guy named that guy come on with Joy Taylor again. That guy come on with Joy Taylor.
Colin
Colin
Cowherd.
Cowherd.
Right. So you were saying, yo, if Josh Allen have a game where there's no mistake and he's playing good, it's difficult to beat him. Difficult. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is, including the greatest quarterback. Once that guy has a great game, perfect game, don't make any mistakes.
But hold on. But Devin, so I have a question quickly.
Wait, yeah.
I believe if any quarterback play the perfect game, I believe it's difficult to beat them. I believe if Aaron Rodgers play a perfect game tonight, the San Francisco 49ers will lose by probably around
Right.
24 points.
So that's what I get to my point, man. That's what he was saying. So
sorry, boss.
I'm just saying. So my spin on it is like, wait. When you go up against Patrick Mahomes, I'm saying if Patrick Mahomes has a great game and no mistake as well, I think Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback. That's just my thinking. So he will supersede him. You know, you'll be more victorious. Then now when you look at all his stats, you know, what I like with Chiefs, you know, they've tried to run the ball a bit more. And one of my favorite player, I think he was I remember because I love watching the draft. He was the last pick in the first round. I think Edwards-Helaire.
From LSU.
Yeah, I think he was the last pick in the first round. I like the way they come in and they run the ball. So sometimes they look to go to the running game, and you know they have all the they have the balance in terms of the offenses going forward. And this is a key stat. I'm gonna tell you this, right? With Buffalo, they have lost 8 straight playoffs game on the road. On the road. Check that out. Where this game is going to play?
On the road.
Home. Chiefs for the win.
Yeah.
All right. So you said Chiefs for the win, right? So Vincent, let me get you in really quickly. I want the people who talk fast to talk first. All right, we leave Gary for
I left me out on the box and Rams after my line of my speech. I didn't let people get me pick. I'm going to start talk fast like Vincent.
So Vincent, right? The Bills right now, they are number 1 defense, right? by a Pro Football Focus, they are number 1 defense, right? Obviously, they're missing their pro corner, Tre'Davious White, you know, and I believe that they haven't been tested at corner, but I believe they'll be tested this game for sure, you know. So when you look at this game now, and you know, you look at Josh Allen can stand in the pocket and throw the ball, but he can also take off, you know, with his legs, because I think he had 700 plus rushing yards, and that is third amongst quarterbacks behind Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson, right? So the man is in some elite company, right? But also Buffalo, I think they did that trend. The first year when they made it to the playoffs, all right, first round knockout. After that, no, they made it to the divisional round. Bam, they get knockout. So I believe now is the time for them to take that extra step now and make it to the AFC Championship game. Do you agree with me, or am I talking?
No, well, for me it is simple, and I'm going to keep it quick so that Gary can get his stats in. But for me it is simple as this. I do not trust Kansas City defense from the season start. I haven't. Yes, I will agree that since lately they have come a little bit better than what they were in the beginning, but I don't trust the defense, and for me that's what's simple the reason I have the Bills winning it. I'm just going to keep it as simple as that.
All right,
Gary can give with the stats.
Gary, go ahead.
I to be honest, I like the Bills in this game. I know Devin made a point, or is Wally, about Buffalo losing 8 straight road playoff games, but I'm just gonna harp on the defense that Devin mentioned. I don't trust. What will be key in this game is both defenses, and by far I think Bills have the better defense. What needs to happen? I think the Bills need to get Mahomes out of rhythm. Once the Kansas City Chiefs offense getting rhythm, and the defense is not, they start out hot and they jump out to a lead, probably a 14-point leader. So I think it will be hard for the Bills to come back seeing that they're on the road. So what needs to happen, what will be critical in this game is once the Bills can get pressure on Mahomes early, get him off his spot, allow him to throw, because when things are not going, the offense is not flowing the way the Chiefs want, you will see Mahomes trying to extend plays. He will try his little, his sidearms, and he will do his little fancy things. So once things are not working and you can get a pick off of him quite early in the game, create some fumbles and so forth, that will be critical. So once that is going good, I think the Bills are in better stead in that regard. When I look at the last game, that the the last game that the Bills played, they beat down on the Patriots, and I think that is more a reflection of the quarterback. I don't want anybody to read into that too much. The rookie quarterback. I think we all know that Patrick Mahomes is a far superior quarterback. I think the game will be much closer, but once you can get Patrick Mahomes off his spot and put the pressure on the Chiefs early, the offense, that will be key. So once they get into a rhythm, it's over. But I have this a closely contested game, and I like the Bills for the simple fact of the defense. I don't trust the Chief defense. They have a corner there. I can't remember his name. Shannon Sharp keeps pressuring him on the show. The slim. What's his name again? Sorensen, I think it is. He makes some boneheaded plays. He always creates that mistake in the backfield that allows for some big yard plays or something to happen. So I've been looking, Stefan Diggs, who is matched up with which corner. I'm not sure if he'll be on Sorensen's side or one of those guys. But it'd be key to see that matchup and to see how the corners hold up when
do you have a score line? Do you have a score line for me?
I think it'll be a high scoring game. I'm looking at about 33 to 28 Bills.
28 Bills. All right. Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
Give me a score line for this one.
30-27 Bills.
You have the Bills winning, and why do you have the Bills winning, boss?
Because to me, the Bills is a better team and the quarterbacks are close. Okay. So if the quarterbacks are close, the Bills have a better all-round team than the Chief. Because the Chief, at the end, the Chief won a lot of games, right? But we need to look at those games and who they played in those games that they had that winning threat. When they came up against elite competition, their secondary was exposed by Mr. Chase. Those cornerbacks keep chasing him to the end zone.
Exactly.
And Josh Allen has the harmony, has the weapons to dissect that defense. So and the Bills has a better defense. Both are close on offense, but I'll give the Bills the edge because I think they are a better overall team.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. So now we're going to, I know Dwayne is going to run because he's going to say he's not prepped for the NBA show as per usual. So
I have other business to engage in because I have to deal with the new tasks that I take on. Remember I told you guys that I became a trainer, so I don't have them. I prep my student now for him exam,
Okay, wonderful. All right, so big up to you and big up to your student. All right, my G.
All right, respect.
All right. Cool. Yes, sir. So I don't know where is Cream because Cream said he wanted to beat Vincent. Oh, here he is. So Cream said he wanted to beat Vincent on this topic, and I'm going to put it up first. Producer, I want you to put up the picture.
Vincent, I'm after Kevs.
Vincent, listen up. Vincent, when you laugh, you have to mute the phone, brother. When you laugh, brother, you have to mute
nobody can say nothing.
All right, but check me out. Producer, I wanted to put up the graphic where they were talking about the trade between Golden State and the Philadelphia 76ers. That is what I want to start with tonight because we were having a private conversation, the potential trade. We were having a conversation about it last night, and Cream said that he wanted to beat Vincent like a drum. So I'm giving him the opportunity now to beat Vincent like a drum. And then obviously, we'll be able to chime in to see run Green Bay run. But we'll be able to chime in. Good
Kems,
night, Robbie Rich.
you never sent me those graphics in the boss.
No man, check your thing, man. Send it, man.
Already in it, bro.
No man, it was. Let me tell you.
Those who cannot read online. Can't find it online.
Look again. You're gonna see it. It was. Oh shoot! No man, see it here, man. It's a proposed offer from 76ers. I'll send it. I'll show you again. I'll send it right back to you because that is what I want to start with because I want to see Cream argument tonight. Because Cream know the basketball. Cream know the basketball. Robbie Rich. In the meantime, let me ask you, how you feel about your Lakers victory last night against the Magics?
They beat who them supposed to beat.
They beat them by a level. I see
They beat them who supposed to beat. There's nothing to celebrate about.
LeBron showboating as usual, showing his muscles.
That's funny.
I'm going on the most way. So
we beat Utah too, brother.
Oh, that was the game I actually remember over beat. Yeah.
Utah is not
the best win of the season.
No.
And then you lose to Indiana.
You guys realize that Utah is probably on about a 5 or 6 game losing streak and have been playing real terribly, right? All right.
Vincent
the man themselves them push up anything in them, man. Anything they
response, man. Well, some people say when people say I clutch at straw. Some people have no straw for clutch at. Some I clutch on the straw.
Man, the straw the light though, man. You're drunk.
All right. Hold on. So Cream, here it is. So this is the proposed offer. So the Philadelphia Sixers would give the Warriors Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Andre Drummond. And the Warriors would give the 76ers Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and 2 future first-round picks.
Madness. Madness.
So Cream.
Must lick them head. That
how Cream I go defend now? Me not understand.
Cream, can we show the people that this trade would work great for the Golden State Warriors, please?
Of course. We start with you will get all-star in Ben Simmons. You will get defense a paint force in Andre Drummond. The only person I'm kind of shaky on is Tobias Harris. That's the only person I'm kind of iffy on. But in terms of Andre Drummond, it would be an upgrade to Looney. And Ben Simmons can give you equally the same as what Draymond gives you, and he's younger. So I think it would definitely.
Draymond Green would I start?
Draymond Green?
Yeah, no Draymond Green. Ben Simmons would I start?
Yeah.
Which position?
Steph can play him or Steph, just like how Draymond bring on the ball and initiate offense. He can do the same thing. He might even point guard, so it'll be easier for him.
Now play the backcourt, right?
Who never play backcourt?
No, Draymond. I'm not up with them. Ben now will start over the smash.
Robbie Rich, leave the man make a man put the argument.
Robbie on board some more in that early one.
The man put the argument on the table.
Board up.
Wait now. Go again, Robbie.
No, I say him now start over clean out Curry, so I don't understand the Ben Simmons deal.
Ben Simmons can play 1, 2, even 4, you know.
Yep. Yes, Ben Simmons can even play the 4.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And if you remember about the 76ers, the 76ers an experiment, with Doc. Doc had put Ben Simmons at the 4, and he was doing pretty good there. So let us not act like let us not act
You can
run.
you can run the offense with Ben Simmons just like how they do with Giannis. You can have him bring on the ball and you spread out the shooters them in Curry and Clay.
Yep, exactly. So now let us look for position. What does Jordan Poole offer to the Warriors right now that I need him so much? Absolutely nothing. What does Kuminga offer to the Warriors right now that I need him so much? Absolutely nothing. These two first round picks, I don't know. This is not NFL. For basketball, first round picks is not a certainty. So why do I need to think about the future when I want to win now? So that is already 3 persons out of it. Andrew Wiggins, I think Tobias Harris is better than Andrew Wiggins, both offensively and defensively. So I will go ahead and I'll take Tobias Harris. So that already eliminates.
Kems, you're wild in there, man.
Well,
As a fan of GSW, I'm not taking this.
No, wait, Laban. Me I go respond. Me allow them to talk. I am allowing them to talk.
I have to stop him in this chat, man, because Kems have to wild about these things. I have to stop him.
Being produced and defend your thing.
What's wrong with the picks? I don't understand. Why?
Everything there is an upgrade to what Golden State.
Everything is an upgrade. Right now, if Golden State get that, Phoenix see that trade.
Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond.
You did say Andre Drummond and Lakers?
Oh, come on.
Wait, not Gary, man.
What Lakers request of Drummond is not what Golden State would request of Drummond.
Exactly.
It's about roles and fit.
Why not reason the basketball like couldn't have the head, man? Why reason basketball
Exactly.
like
Come on, everyone.
Like so check me out now. So look at this. So look at this lineup. Look at this lineup now. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Tobias Harris, right? Klay Thompson, Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, Andre Drummond. That is a championship right there.
Easily.
Easy championship right there. You're telling me, like, look how, remember, Jordan Poole started on fire. He has now currently regressed so badly. It reminds me of the Jordan Poole when he just came into the league. Total regression. When we talk about Kuminga, come on now, man. We can give a Kuminga to somebody else off of the street. And can do that. So
There's
come on,
dime a dozen Kumingas in the league.
All right, Kems, hear what Kems. This is what Sixers should do. You see, instead of Tobias Harris or Andre Drummond, just put Tyrese Maxey in the mix. Maxey would be a better.
But you can't put
Maxey.
You can't put Maxey and Ben in a mix right now. That's too crazy right now.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, that this right now is crazy. So that's why I'm going there.
All right, let me hear on our rebut.
Here my rebut to this, right? First, Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond have him stats, but those stats come especially when he was at Detroit. He was the only person playing in the middle. First thing, the NBA really don't even play middle out so much again. So when you have a dominant big man like how Andre Drummond sort of stack the floor, it sort of make your team not able to play as freely. You understand? And it's the same thing even when he went to Lakers. He realized that he never fit. And as much as they said Lakers asked him to play a different role, Golden State has never really played center dominant in terms of how they play. So that's the first thing. So I don't believe Drummond fit into what Golden State system and what Steve Kerr is trying to do. Ben Simmons. My issue with Ben Simmons, in fact, it's not even Ben Simmons. Green. Last year, we see people are laugh after Draymond Green, and we say him have triple single, and it was a joke of the NBA, right? Draymond Green, as much as he doesn't have certain stats, and you might say he doesn't shoot well and stuff like that, Draymond Green makes Golden State goals on their defense and their offense. I just take a quick look today, and I realize that Draymond Green has had the most assists to Curry than probably more than 5 times any other duo in the league at the moment. Over 59 times.
Hold on.
Hold on a minute.
No, man, stick that point there. Stick that point there right there, so Vincent. So these assists that he's giving to Curry, are these world-class assists, or is those an assist in those Curry?
Whether they are world-class or not, half of those assists have led to threes. Half of those assists, 59 assists, more than 5 times any other duo in the league.
Yeah,
They have led to more than half of them have led to Curry threes. You understand?
That's
They
because
under
that's because half
they,
the time, remember, Draymond initiates the offense. So you have
right, no, but it's not just that him. It's not just that he initiates the offense. No, Draymond play at the 4 and sometimes the 5. He allows that Golden. Remember the small ball is what Golden State love to play most time. Draymond Green allowed that. Now, for me, Ben Simmons, yes, we have seen where the coach used him at 4, but he predominantly play at 2 and 3. I don't see Ben Simmons playing that key role that Draymond Sim plays. He doesn't.
Sure.
You understand? And he's not going to fit in the role that Draymond played. He doesn't play defense like that as much as he's a defensive player, and he doesn't play on the offense like that. Ben Simmons is a defense, not say as much as he's a defensive player. Simmons can play defense, man, and he has played good defense in the league. You understand? He's a good defender. You understand? You can't take that from me. He's a good defender. But I am saying that he doesn't fit the role that a Draymond will fit for Golden State. I believe it is a poor trade if Golden State should go there. And listen, I hear you guys talking about Kuminga, and I am watching that little rookie. And that rookie have a very high upside. Very high upside. You understand? I don't believe it is a good trade. I don't believe that if Golden State should make this trade, it would totally change what and how the Golden State currently plays. And I don't see them winning a championship by making that trade now. And that's why I just think it is not a good trade.
Robbie?
Here is another thing, and I'll let Robbie pinch in on this. No, Devin, I'll let Devin come in on this and then
exactly, producer. See it there? But Kems, look at the screen. At 4-7, the Golden State has been without Draymond in the side. As much as we believe that Draymond statistically is not there, critical to what Golden State does. Yes, sir. Yes, the voice.
Vincent,
yes, the voice. I'm listening to the voice.
I was the one who sent the producer that boss. So
okay, sir.
I know what he said. All right. It's a check me out, right? All right. So let me get you in, Robbie, right here, because it said that the Warriors are 28-6 with Draymond Green and 4-7 without him this season. How instrumental do you think Draymond is for the Warriors to basically win another championship? Or is this just a little smoke screen to say that the context is not really showing in this graphic?
Yeah, it has shown from the past till now how instrumental is Draymond Green to Golden State. And as Irving they said before, if they actually do that trade with Drummond, it will move the way of them play and so forth. And will affect them so forth. It's very influential. You don't have certain stats to back it to show how important he is in the team. But if you really watch how him play and so forth, you realize the influence on the team.
Okay. Devin.
Yeah. So first of all, I appreciate that stats. But then I'm not gonna jump to say 28-6. There are a lot of other variables, and we all know that. So that 28-6 is not entirely I mean
against some Orlando and
it could be so you have to look at the team when they play. So I'm not gonna say 4-7 without him on 28-6 when he's in there. Like when I watch him play, he's instrumental in the sense that he brings the ball up sometimes, give Curry a break, he can set the offense, and on defense, like he organized. Like when he's there, he's a central focus to organize the defense.
Like the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah. So it's very important in all of that. You get what I'm saying? But in terms of him being important winning the next championship, I would say yes, but he's not as significant as if it was like, I mean, to me, Clay getting back to full strength and being Clay at least 80% of what he used to be, 75 to 80%, is more important than Draymond Green being on there to me. That's to me. People will argue against that. And just to quickly chime in on the trade, when you look at it man for man and look at it, That would be a bad. I wouldn't take that if I was in GM front office of the Warriors, because one, Andrew Wiggins is playing much better than Tobias Harris this season. Overall, the career you could argue otherwise, but this season I'm talking about, Wiggins has been playing good to the point where I don't know if you are a fan of the Gundy Brenner, the fatter one. I don't know which one who's the fatter one, Stan or
Stan.
Yeah,
just the slim one.
yeah. He was saying if he had a pick, I don't know if he has a selection in it, he would put Andrew Wiggins in there for all-star selection. I don't know if he was being too kind. So that trumped Tobias Harris. When I look at Ben now, all right, so we combine Kuminga and Poole.
Draymond.
Yeah. So those two would equate out. But then we have who else? We have Drummond. Drummond is not the same player as he used to be when he was in
How do you know that he's not the same player? How do you know he's not the same player?
Well, based on what I'm seeing at Lakers, based on what we see him use now, I guess you may say it's not enough time.
Telling me that Drummond
first round picks, you equal 2 first round pick and easily trump Drummond as well as Jordan Poole. So I think in terms of man to man, that would be much better than those 3 players from the Sixers. It's a way. It's not even close. That would be bad for Golden State. I don't know why Cream and Kims think of it as being such a big upgrade for Golden State.
Because
Golden State
you guys are telling me that
garbage.
You guys are telling me that Drummond can't give you the same production that Looney does.
But it's not the production, Cream. It is the fit.
It's the fit and the player, yeah.
And I don't believe that how Drummond plays old school basketball. Middle, start the middle, full the middle and stuff like that. It's a fit. I don't believe that he fits with the system.
What does Looney do in the Golden State system?
Looney is more there for help them on defensive side against other big.
Okay.
Whereas Drummond is going, you put Drummond there. It is not just defense, you know. Drummond slow, and then Drummond now play a slow school center basketball where you play inside out. That is not what Golden State play. He doesn't fit their system.
You did not change your system. All you're doing is taking out, is removing Looney and dropping in Drummond. So
yeah, but
Looney said the pick and roll that Looney the drop off to Looney, the dunks. That's all them do for the fit. They're not gonna run no play if you feed Drummond in a post or anything.
So you believe a GM will accept that? You believe a GM would accept that? Any GM is gonna accept that?
Probably not, but
as a GM, would you accept that, or you just reason it out just because you want to be on the other side of the conversation?
If I was Golden State, yeah, man, I'd look at it seriously.
I know why Kems accept it, you know, but that is for another time. I know why.
I don't think Gary, system.
Gary, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm more jumping. All right, guys. And I'm going to allude to a lot of things I will say, but we have to be careful, you know, when we get into this thing where we just look at the names on the paper, right? Basketball is not just about, all right, I'm looking at this player versus this player. Sometimes a matter of fact, it's not just about names, right? When you look at, and everything I'm going to speak to that Vincent said, right? When you are getting rid of the heartbeat of the team, right? A defensive captain, right? A starter on the Golden State Warriors team. You're getting rid of that man, right? You're getting rid of as Jordan Poole. He's not playing well, but he's a bright future, right? He has a good upside. For you're getting in what? Tobias, right? He's not really an upgrade from Wiggins. How he's gonna fit in the system? How would Ben Simmons play in that system? Drummond is not, as I said, as Vincent said, he's gonna slow down the offense of yeah, he plays very slow. How would that transition work in the Golden State? You basically changing how the Golden State start. If you are looking for winning now, I'm not saying Ben Simmons wouldn't be a long-term answer into integrating him into the system. But when you're looking at the team now as currently constructed, the system and the structure of Golden State, I don't think these players that they are trading for or that trade is proposed will help them. It is not going to be an upgrade, an overall upgrade, to put them over the top now to win a title, right? If you're looking into the future, fine. But currently, I don't see this system, especially when you're throwing Andre Drummond in the mix. It's more than just looking at the guys and say, all right, this is a better player versus this player, or that player is a better player versus that player. We have to look at the system and how the team plays. So Golden State taking that trade, they would have to restructure the whole team and how they play, especially with Drummond in the team and Simmons.
That's a mass cream if you actually watch Golden State play.
Ken, the voice. Just one thing. Is it that Jordan Poole play has gotten a little bit bad because Golden State is trying to fit back Klay Thompson in? I know Jordan Poole had gone out injured, and then he came back just at the time when Klay T is coming in. Is that the reason why his play has gone down?
Well, you notice, Mr. from Fantasy, I had him on my
yeah, I know.
and I had to drop him like a ripe banana. Because, from me, when he came back from COVID, he just wasn't the same. And then Klay came in, and then all of that.
And role change as well too. I say
that gotta affect him because a guy playing like that high minutes. Because I think his minutes went down as well.
Yeah, him still.
So he's not going to be the same player. That gonna affect him scoring and how him play and all that. So Klay coming back is gonna do that.
Yo.
Ken's under pressure.
All right, so let us look at this proposed trade now. The Pistons would get Horton Tucker, Kendrick Nunn, and a 2027 first-round pick, and the Lakers will get Jeremy Grant and more.
What is that more?
That is the critical part of it.
All right, so let us say Jeremy Grant. Let's also say Jeremy Grant because I think Jeremy Grant really worth these persons. Robbie, as a Laker fan, is this a trade that you would welcome? Because I know you are one of the blind persons who I don't know what you seen Kendrick Nunn, because I see that man in Miami and that man is nothing to write home about. But you don't want to trade Kendrick Nunn. I seen Jeremy Grant and I want Jeremy Grant and the Lakers when I was a Laker fan. So tell me, Robbie, what do you like about this trade?
Everything, because we never know when.
So you would accept this trade right now?
Yeah, because we never no, but then again, I have a concern about the injury of Grant. How long Grant will be out? Because we are going through the same thing with Nunn out for a long time. So you have to look on that and consider that. But overall, the fit, of course, we take that trade. Why not?
All right, Devin, how about you?
Let me see.
I think something a while, dude. Took her too wild.
Yo, nah. Like if you're taking out the more and just Grant alone, I'm not giving up.
Why?
Tucker and Nunn.
Why?
For Grant only, as well as first round pick. As well as first round pick.
Why not?
Yeah, why not fall in love when only your first round pick?
That's not a sure enough.
Yo, you have second round pick in the league who play good. You have first round pick in the league who play good.
You're really fine. If I ask you now to tell me who was the 2018 first round picks that's playing good right now.
Jerman Green was a first round pick. Jerman Green was way down good, and Jerman Green has come a long way.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
there are others you can figure out too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Look at this. If the Lakers said they were trading, for example, for that Cleveland number 1 pick when they drafted Anthony Bennett,
But his Piston turned down the trade.
Yeah, they turned down the trade, man. Yeah. They want more.
Because the more, I guess, and the more.
I'm gonna agree with this actually. I know.
Maybe
and the more are the problem. So I'm decline.
No, but if I am Piston, I would have turned down that trade too.
Why?
What do you mean?
Jeremy Grant is playing better than those two players that you're sending to me. So why would I, if I am pissed, admit that trade?
Take that.
Hey, why would I take that trade? Like seriously?
I'm surprised you as a Lakers fan I say yes, you take that trade. That trade is crazy.
No, well, for Lakers though, and in fact, if Lakers take that trade, are you saying that AD is now going to play the 5? And you put Jeremy Grant at the 4?
Bro, that crazy. If just to see madness, would love Lakers take it. Just to see
Lakers is
it.
going for a center. Don't play blind about this. So no play blind about this. So you never expect Jam, AD, and LeBron to play 5 after the trading season finish. So don't play blind about that.
All right. And Robbie, this is what I asked you about earlier. The Lakers beat the Magics 116-105. LeBron had 29, 7, and 5. Russ had 18 points on 17 shots. And Melo, I think Melo was huge in this game. He had 23 points in 17 minutes. What do you have to say? Well, you already talk about this game. I want to get Devin viewpoint on this game. What you thought about this game, Devin?
You know, well, that game wasn't anything much to write about because, like, you know, Orlando Magic is one of the. I think they're playing to get draft picks again. They're not.
Them terrible, man. Them terrible.
Yeah, when I see them play, all right, Kems, you can watch some team. I know some team when, you know, even though them are going, even though they are bad, they are still fighting. They're not one of the team. They're not. They're just playing for picks. I'm telling you, they're playing for picks. Yeah, so them beating them, I'm not even convinced. You know what I'm saying? It's like so many time when I see Detroit play, I watch Detroit play. I think Detroit have the second worst record in the East. Orlando as the worst.
Yeah. All right, Devin, stick up in right there, Devin.
Yeah.
Since as I mentioned Detroit, what do you think about the guy Cade Cunningham?
Oh yeah, I like him. I like Cade Cunningham as a number 1 pick. It's just that he's just in a bad situation. He need more help because as good as you are, and I know you're my partner, but they're not giving. I don't know if he's not fully developed as yet, Levon, but he's not getting like a lot of minutes where he could put up points. Because on a bad team like that, he should be putting up a lot of points. But some of the times, they're not giving him the total amount of minutes. I don't know if he's the muscle or his development.
Yeah, because I was checking it and he's averaging like 15 points this season so far.
Yeah, and check the minutes, right? Right.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
I understand he's a rookie. Get what I'm saying?
He's not LeBron. He's not LeBron. He's not
LeBron, but he's the number. He's also the number 1 pick.
Man, just answering LeBron. All right.
But then beating Magic, Kems, nothing to write about. You know, we beating Utah, something big. Nothing to write about.
All right. So LeBron James, no.
Nah, let go for that cream. Nah, let go for it.
LeBron James now has been the first player in NBA history. That means he is the only one to do it.
Yeah, we know what that means.
No,
you have to re-emphasize. We know what that means. Let's continue.
That means no one else has ever done it. That means there's a probability that it will never be done again. All right? But listen, LeBron is the first player to have 36,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 9,000 plus assists, almost 10,000. Cream, let me get you in as a middleman. Right?
Middleman, yes.
Right.
So you don't want my
I don't want you to front of
the thing that he had them and say something bad. He want him ego massage. So
I want to say something when you're done though. Hear the voice.
The voice.
There's something I want to debunk.
All right, sure, you can debunk.
I think I know how we want debunking that.
All right, Cream. So talk to us about this thing. Like this guy is in his 19th season, 37-year-old, still at the top of his game. We saw Steph Curry trying to keep up pace the other day and him run out of gas. And the king is just now starting up the engine. So tell us about the king and do you think that where do you think that his career numbers will end up?
All right, let me polish up the king crown female now. Yes, man. Instead of the man almost have triple double in career numbers, man, career points, 36, 10 and 9. So almost triple double. But it's a testament to his longevity in a league and producing at a high level, because we can recall somebody in the 19th season being like a top 3 player in a league, putting up these numbers, what, 27 and 8 in my average now, or something along those lines. So it's really remarkable what him been able to do for so long, to be so high. As I start with the where they were doing the 10-year challenge with him and Brand, him and KD, they were like top 2 in the leading league in scoring 10 years ago, and it's still them 10 years later, it's still them at the top same way. So it's just remarkable what the King are doing, man, you know, and it's and where his numbers are gonna end up, it depends on how long he can continue to play, because he's been picking up more injuries now. So, but me saying still I try start part same way and I get to look up points with seconds
So,
left to go against who?
big
Against
comment, Cream. Big comment. You like how you buy. You're not playing hand by.
8 seconds left in the game and then down by whole heap. Man still got left the ball to blow. I say,
No, film style, that man. Film style. I just think.
Is the King come to?
Kems now go see them thing there. Him a pressure breathing, you know, about it, you know. But you know, pressure LeBron. But that's no film style.
But
Well,
your ball, your King I do very well, man. Very well.
Well, Cream, thank you for bringing up that, because honestly, I didn't see that one. I have to go and watch the highlight. Which game was that? Which game was that? Was that the Pacers game?
Yes, against Pacers. It was like 8 seconds remaining in the game, and they were up by almost 11 or so. And the man take a ball and bully him, we and go lay for 2 more points, you know, after catch Kareem.
No, you don't know, man. Man probably have bridge in the bet for the game. I want to close to the spread.
Russell Westbrook should have run off the LeBron. That's what you do. But the other day, look at you try to get him basket.
Yeah,
you know, run on from the youth.
A big excitement that them create.
Yeah, you remember that Cream?
Yeah,
All right, producer. Give me. Vincent, you say you had something to say, Vincent. Go ahead.
Kems, and before I say it, let me ask you the question. What do you guys mean when you say that LeBron James is not a scorer? And I want to look at the 36,000 points. So persons keep on saying that this is a man that has 36,000 points, but he's not a scorer. What do you guys mean by that?
Okay, I believe so. When we say he's not a scorer, we're actually being very sarcastic, you know, because you guys are the ones who say LeBron is not a scorer, not us. We just be sarcastic when
I didn't get it as a sarcastic point, but go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, you guys say, oh, he can't score the basketball like this person or that person. So we just say, okay, if he's not a scorer, then how comes he has 36,000 points? You know, it's remarkable. Suppose he was a scorer, then probably you'll have 50, 60,000 points. You know, so it's just really a sarcastic comment. We don't necessarily believe he's not a scorer.
Devin and Gary, you understand that statement in the past? I've heard a lot of analysts say it when they talk about LeBron James as a sarcastic point, because I've never gotten it as that.
Oh, you're talking analysts. Oh, you're talking analysts. I thought you.
Yeah, the analysts. Yeah, not an analyst who says.
I think the main thing what they want to say, like over the past years, what they try to use the score thing is like the guys that more can score, more versatile, and they can go in, them can do it from the three, them can do mid range, and them can get them basket just about anything. Which over the years I've seen LeBron done. So I don't know why they always ask.
No, I think I know. I think I know exactly.
Let me help you.
Because initially they always just LeBron coming down the basket.
I know exactly what I'm talking.
200 and something pound self and just going to the basket and just scoring.
Let me help you with it. Let me help
not
you
possessing the mid range and everything. I don't know. But
that's not what they mean, Devin.
Eh?
That's not what they mean. That's not what they mean. What they mean when they say he's not a scorer, they're basically saying that scoring is not the first thing on his mind. That's not what he does. That's not the first thing. Oh, I'm going out there to score 30. You see, like Kobe Bryant, we know Kobe Bryant is going out there to score the basketball. We know Kevin Durant is going out there to score the basketball. But we know Magic Johnson is going out there.
James Harden, the same thing.
Who? We're not. We're not. But
we get to
we know
answer,
Magic. Yeah, we know Magic Johnson is going out there to pass the basketball. We know John Stockton is going out there to pass the basketball. So it's the same thing. You know, it's just,
but for me it is this because I had to go back and I look at each season. I look at LeBron and Jordan because I always I do the comparison. I look at Magic Johnson as well. Jordan highest average in any season would have been about 27 field goals for that season in terms of the average. For the most part, him average around 24. I think there was a year him average 26. Him average 24, 22, 23 field goals. I look at LeBron average, especially before he got to Miami and back to Cleveland. He was averaging around 20. This highest one year was about 24. He averaged around 20, 21 field goal per season, right? And I'm saying, then how are they saying this person is not a scorer? Not only that, and every single team that LeBron James has played on, except for I believe 2017, he has the most field goal per game than any other teammate. And for some of those teams, it is not even close. So I am saying, how is it that they are saying this man is not a scorer? You are taking the most field goal on your team. Your field goal average. When you look at a Magic Johnson, who is not a field goal, when I look at him, he averages around 14 field goals, which is way below what LeBron average. You understand? So the only point I'm trying to make is this argument about LeBron is not a scorer, but hey, look, he has 36,000 points, is foolishness.
All right. No problem.
Want to jump in?
Hold on, Devin says he's leaving in 5 minutes. You can jump in here. Go ahead. Nobody with the long analysis.
No, man, no, brother, with the long soliloquy. No, brother, with the long soliloquy. But I just want to add something to what you're saying, Kems, regarding LeBron, right? He's not a scorer. What he's criticized about, and piggybacking on what you said, he doesn't have the same killer mentality as MJ and Kobe want to get the last bucket. If his team is in, a dire situation where, you have to be the man to take over and make the shot, he always thinks about making the correct play. And they don't like, they like that to say, all right, he doesn't have the killer instinct. So remember in 2013, pass the ball to Ray Allen, Kyrie made that shot in that game.
Okay, but then we can talk about Steve.
So they look at that. Mm-hmm.
Come on.
No, man. So that's what they are not necessarily saying that he doesn't score a lot of points, because remember, in all of his teams, LeBron dominates.
The only point for me,
assists and rebounds, because he's that player that the offense runs through. So he's gonna have those numbers, and I'm not saying that it's not a great achievement or a great feat, but playing for 19 seasons, keeping a body in tip-top shape. He spends millions on his body every year, and he's very great. Those numbers, once you play and have that longevity, the numbers are going to speak for themselves. So I'm not watering down his thing, but I'm just saying, leading a team in points, assists, rebounds, right throughout the year, you're going to have those numbers because he's never played with another dominant person that, gets a lot of boards that the offense kind of runs. He's not a prototypical kind of player. He's just He's just
great. All right.
Fine.
Producer, give me the next one. He's just great.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I say no.
It's great, of course.
You know, I say no.
Right,
Come
Devin,
on. No, I say no.
So before you go,
Against
Devin, I want
against Magic, all just laugh off at this man come did him something, yeah? I joke thing this.
So Devin, before you go, I want to get your comment on this one. Joel Embiid, he has been on a tear lately. He has been balling. I believe this man is the best center in the league. Other persons think otherwise. This is not a debate I'm entertaining tonight because we're gonna fund the show all night. Devin, I just want to get your take. Who do you think is better, Joel Embiid or Joker, and why?
Yo, I'm a Embiid fan. And I'm saying that to say is I'll take the Joker over him because, Joker gives you It'll give you the points. It'll give you the passing. He's a better passer than Embiid to me. You know what I'm saying? Joker sometimes playing like he could be like a guard or a point guard, and he'll give you the rebounds just as them. I'll give you the thing. So most that they're close, but I'll take Joker over him. But I'm an Embiid fan, and to address that comment there, I don't even think he believes in all of those things that he write. But
Yeah.
what I want to say,
Motivation.
He's a very confident guy. And I love that about him. He's very confident, and I love that about him. So he's just doing it for his confidence. I remember the thing when he was trying to throw a job at Rihanna, and Rihanna said, "Yo, go be an all-star first one." She only taking all-stars on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then when he came back now and be an all-star, he said, "Okay, Rihanna, yeah, I'm an all-star now."
Yeah, what's up?
At that time, and even now, Rihanna wasn't considering him because Rihanna was with the billionaire at that time. But looking at it now, he's just him being a confident guy, and I love him for his confidence. His confidence, and he's a dominant guy. And it's debatable between him and Joker, but I'll take Joker over him. So.
All right, and Gary. All right, Devin, we know you have to go in now. So
Yeah.
You'll be there tomorrow, right?
Yes, man. And if I'm not there, I'll send you the receipt as to why I'm not there. But I will be there.
All right, boss. All right.
All right. Bless up.
All right.
Listen for this stuff.
All right. Gary, talk to me.
Yeah.
Embiid,
man.
Embiid or Joker?
No, all right. I'm not a big Embiid fan, but I'm gonna be fair. Embiid has been on a tear. He's been prolific. He can shoot the three for a big man. He's dominant inside the plane, back to the post. 7'2". He does everything. My problem with Embiid, if they were basically playing the same amount of time over the past 4 or 5 years, Embiid is a man that he cannot stay healthy. He's unreliable when his team needs him. He have a stomach problem every minute. He have knee problem. He have back problem. He's so injury prone for the type of player he's and that position how he plays. Yeah, in the post low, he gets a lot of physical contact, and he's kind of brittle for my liking. But what I see what Joker is doing right in Denver, yes, his team is not playing well right now. Devin mentioned it. Better passer to me, Joker. Offensively, they have the same kind of game. Embiid is more dominant, in the post. Joker can post up as well. But I would take Joker right now over Embiid, for the simple fact that Joker is more reliable in terms of dependable, right? Available in games, right? Long term, I would have a better argument, or persons could have a better argument for me if Joker, Embiid was less injury prone, right? But if I'm taking for my money right now, I would take the Joker simply because he's more available. But in terms of dominance, Embiid can give you that. But I can't rely in big playoff games not having Embiid, in critical moments in the playoffs. I think that is a knock on him personally for me. So I would go with the Joker.
What playoff series have you seen Embiid not be there?
No, I'm not saying that he hasn't necessarily in a game. I'm just saying that there is a possibility he's prone because of the history with him being injured. We don't know any. It is a possibility that he's not going to be available for you all the time. You can't put your money for Embiid.
But it's a possibility. It's a possibility for any player. Really.
No, I understand what you're saying, but
what I'll say for Joker is that it's a higher possibility for Joker to underperform in the playoffs than Embiid to get injured. And don't let me ever pull up the numbers and show you guys what is going on. Remember against the Lakers, I saw JaVale McGee, I saw Dwight Howard, lockdown Joker in that Eastern Conference semifinals. Remember, those guys never play a lot, but when they see the Joker, they smile because they know that. When I say he have a big arsenal and thing, but to me, the Joker is absolutely very much limited.
But
I wouldn't say it's limited. He doesn't have a dominant inside game. That's the only thing is weakness to me. And he's not that athletic. He's not that athletic, and he's probably a little bit soft. So
James, you just spoke about how impressive he has been, right?
Yep.
But what I'm looking at, all right, so his last game, he scored 40. Before that, 50. 32, 32, 25, 31, 31, 31, 31, 31, 34. You know what's kind of ironic about this? Why is it that, 5 games right back to back. This guy had 31 points. Those some seems are kind of bit off right there.
Gambling?
Yeah.
What I'm getting at.
No, it's.
I don't know. Me not really think that deeper for.
Yeah. Levon come top
Sometimes,
deep, you know.
Levon, that's an Arsenal team. You know, Philip.
That
Philip.
I know.
I mean, it look away when you look on it like that, but I don't think.
Whenever they are thinking like that.
You know,
Yeah, me not pre that deep. Just taking it as it is on face value.
Yeah, just taking it as it is on face value. But Cream.
Yeah.
Who you got? Joker or Embiid?
Oh my! It's so close between these two big men there. It's so close. It's like a hair that separate them. Both ends of the floor, offense, defense. Them offensive game is closer than them defensive game. Like Embiid defensively is clear of
way
Jokic.
better.
It's just that Jokic impacts the game in more ways than Embiid. You know, so but it's so close, man. Like you can close your eye and pick one. You won't be losing out, brother. But would I probably go with Joker just because it impact the game in more areas.
I will go for Joker because he's more reliable, as in injuries. Because the injury I go, Jordan when you be injured for a long time, you know.
Softest big man me ever see. Soft like porridge.
Who that? AD?
No, outside that, well, no, I wouldn't. AD's story different, man. I'm talking in terms of, physical specimen.
Okay.
7'2" way so much.
Yeah.
Vincent, why do you think Joker is better?
As Cream said them close, and you know that we did choose Joker. I mean, listening to Cream talk, and especially when he remind me on the defensive end, I realize that the truth is, Embiid is really a better defensive player than the Joker is. But the truth is them close. All right, by eye test, if I do eye test, it seemed to me that Joker impacts the game far more than Embiid does, just by the eye test. When you look at the numbers, you are saying, but they're doing the similar things. But by the eye test, they do. I can't argue with you, Kems, about the playoffs because we have seen him against Lakers, and then again we had seen him against Clippers too, right? So because of that, I'm not going to argue about his playoff. He has come up small in at least 2 years that we know. But the truth is, he seems to impact the game a little bit more than what Embiid does. So that is why I probably would go with him. But if you look purely on the numbers, you would say that Embiid should be the far better center.
Absolutely. All right. And now let us talk about Devin Booker and CP3. It said that Devin Booker is shooting 62.5% and 45.5 3-point percentage in the clutch. And Chris Paul is plus 64 in the clutch, best in the NBA. Suns are 15-3 in games in the clutch. And the reason why I decided that I wanted to put up this visual is because if you realize there was a particular game, I believe it was game 5. I believe it was game 5 or game 4. One of those games where in the clutch, Phoenix just didn't have it. And they allowed Milwaukee to go ahead and grab that game. I think Phoenix were leading by 7 with probably a minute and 30 seconds left. And they allowed Milwaukee to come back. So I believe that they learned from last season. I think they're coming back hungry. I just want to know if any of you guys believe that this Phoenix Suns can actually make it to the final again and, have a chance to probably rewrite history.
I do believe they can. When I look at the West as it currently constructed now, I do believe that they can. They really should have won that finals. The only difference in that finals was Giannis, which for
Yes.
most people
Easy.
was was
Easy.
surprising. But in fact, Phoenix make the biggest mistake. They decide that they're going to guard Giannis, use Aiton to guard Giannis 1-on-1, and just wouldn't change. So I blame that on a coach because as a coach,
Mhm.
you have to be able to adapt.
I got
You realize two of those clutch losses, I believe, is against Golden State.
Yep.
I believe two of those clutch losses against Golden State.
No, I think one of them. I think one of them is because the
They
other one
played.
they were
I
blown
think
out.
they played 3 times. Oh, the other one they were blown out. Okay,
Yeah, they
okay.
were blown out. Yeah.
I believe Phoenix has the team that I wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the finals again, and they should be able to make it to the finals again. And that's the honest truth. If you look at how they play, if you look at what they are doing, I was watching them the other night against the Mavericks, and the Mavericks was up by about 15 or something like that in the first half. And the Mavericks, I mean, what's his name? Um, uh, Luca was killing them. And when Phoenix turn up, their defense is really something else. Their defense is really good. And any team that has defense like that, you have to know that they are capable of getting to the NBA playoffs and winning. They should have won the playoff last year. They fall up. Let us see what they do this year. Right now, Golden State, you can see Golden State is trying to work Clay into the system. And as Devin said before they left, they really need Clay to be at about 80% to say we can definitely win the championship. And you can see that it is impacting what they are doing, even with Draymond being out, the fact that they are trying to work Clay in order to get him up to speed, right? But just Suns machine, they are for real. And they should get back to the finals, especially if Golden State is not able to get Clay up to that 80%.
Cream.
Yeah.
What do you think about these guys? Can they make it back to the final?
That's what I'm wondering. Do you guys believe either of them is a one, so to speak? Like
Booker
they
or
good enough
Chris
to
Paul.
be the best player and a championship winning? Yeah. Or are they two?
I'm not sure they are a one. Booker is a one. I probably could call him a 1C.
Yeah, I was going to go 1
yeah, 2A, right? You understand? But as a team, they remind me of Detroit 2004.
Oh, okay.
And better than even that Detroit 2004. You understand? They can do it. And they have enough pieces around them, or enough sufficient pieces to do it. But you may be right that Chris Paul is not at the stage where we say, all right, yes, superstar. But they can.
Okay.
They have been playing well. So
I'm looking at Phoenix. They have been playing exceptionally well. And Chris Paul, I think he's underrated. I know he's your guy, Kems, and I'm looking at his career and he's really underrated. But what the knock against Chris Paul is that title. So every team he has joined, he has always improved the team, right? And you remember when the Phoenix went to the bubble, didn't quite work out. They were hot in the bubble, then they came back. Paul was integrated, came on the team, went to the finals, and they're starting hot and coming on strong this year. When I'm looking at the West, I think the West is a little bit top heavy this season. It's not typical West that we are used to. The East, I would say, is a little bit stronger this season than opposed to the previous seasons. Golden State is still, as Vincent said, trying to integrate Clay into the mix. They have been tussling 1 and 2 position in the West for the last few weeks. But I think Phoenix has stepped up because Golden State has struggled since Clay has come back, losing a few games. So they are about, I think, 33 and 13, 4 games up. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, based on how they are playing, if they go into the playoffs, I think they can come out of it, because we don't see, looking at the Clippers, looking at the Lakers, Kawhi is out, the other teams, Denver is not playing well. I don't see any big threat. Utah, everybody knows Utah good in the regular season. When it comes to the playoff,
Lakers.
AD's coming back.
Anyway, we're not
AD's
even.
coming back.
Lakers
AD's
would
coming back.
they have to try get into the playoffs through the play-in first, because they might just end up in the play-in. But I'm looking at Phoenix, and I think they can make it back. It's not in typical years. They will be able to make it back, but my challenge is that when they get there, it's just getting over that hump. So if they meet up with Milwaukee again, how will that work out in terms of Giannis, how they treat Giannis? If they meet up with, say, probably Brooklyn, how will they fare? Because they have a nice team, nice pieces, but that alpha player, I'm thinking that is the issue. Devin Booker is, as Devin said, can be a 1C or a 2A. Is very good. But is he the man, that killer 1A kind of elite player like a LeBron, a Giannis, and those kind of people? So they will do well. I think they'll make it back, but I don't know if I'd put my money to say they will win it, unless they probably need another elite superstar piece to take them over the hump. But they can make it.
So I just want to talk about one last thing before we go, because we're running on 2 hours. 4 minutes, and we need to save most things that we have to talk about tomorrow. We need to save vocal cords. So, the last thing I want to talk about is the All-Star game, right? The All-Star voting, right? And I think today is the close-off, so it's fair to say that LeBron will be the captain
of the West, and KD East.
And KD will be of the East. But I guess this is another time where KD won't play.
He won't play,
All-Star game.
He won't play.
Oh yeah, because he's injured. Last year he didn't play either.
Yeah. So first pick, we select Kyrie Irving.
You're crazy. So check this out, right? So look at this, right? So first 2 votes that came back, Steph was leading, and then LeBron just zoops and passed him. So I'm wondering, is this a direct correlation to how Steph has been playing? Like the level of his game has dropped, so he's not getting the votes, or is it just the fact that Steph hasn't taken over as the face of the NBA? Because look, Steph Curry won, he has a 3-point record. He had all that going for him, and LeBron had nothing going for him at the time. But then now you see LeBron start getting 30-point games. And start doing this thing, and then you see the votes start getting them. So I just want to know, the face of the NBA, is it still LeBron or Steph Curry? And if it's LeBron, how much longer do we think LeBron can hold being the face of the NBA?
LeBron are the face of the NBA. Full stop. We hear people talk about, we have seen KD, we have seen Steph, and they are exciting, they are good, but LeBron is still the face of the NBA, and that's just the truth. How much longer he can do this, I'm not even sure. The thing about LeBron that you have to give him credit for, this man take care of his body. I think Gary was the one who was saying that the man spend money, which is very good. And we're refreshing to see a player who, you make the money, but you also use part of your money to ensure that you are able to continue to do what you are doing. You understand? You have to give him credit for that. He is the face of the NBA, I still believe, to this day. I see him doing this going into next season. At least, what you notice that he has done, he's terribly on the defensive side, because he still has to use that energy on the offensive side. I believe that if Lakers was playing better, that he would have stepped out a little bit better even on the defensive side. But right now, he's the only offense they have. And he doesn't have it in him like 10 years ago, where you could give the same amount of energy on the defense and on the offense. So I can't even kill him for that. You understand? But he's the face of the league, and I believe that even going into his 20th season, he will probably still be the face of the league.
Gary?
Yeah, both things can be true though. He's actually still the face of the league. And also when you look at the voting, how it started, favoring Curry and the last few weeks when he's tapered down, you see LeBron coming strong, scoring a lot of points, triple doubles and so forth. So I think it's an indication a little bit of both in this instance, because the fans vote. I think it's the fans, or 20%, then the coaches, the GMs, and how it goes. front office, or I'm not sure what. I know you have fans a certain percentage of coaches. So fan voting, the fans gonna vote who they want to vote for, the favorite players, and then the coaches come in and give their votes as well. But I think also it's a little bit of both, to be honest.
All right, Cream. Let me end it with you, boss.
Yeah, man, he's still the face. But
I remember, Cream, before you even talk, I remember you were blasphemous when you were talking about, when I was saying name the top 5 players, you were like, LeBron? What's LeBron doing right here?
At the time, me I defend Cream. At the time, man, never.
At the time, exactly, he was nowhere. Come on, man. At that time, no. But in my face, man. But piggyback on what Vinny said earlier, that the fact that he has to be going so hard now because the team is so poor, is that gonna have a knock-on effect come postseason? Like the wear and tear, the minutes that he's have to be playing, and how much he's and the exertion he's putting out now, is that gonna wear and tear come postseason? So, but in terms of being the face, yeah, him at the face for this year, probably next year, or even probably next 2 years. But who are gonna be the next face is a more interesting question. We probably can tackle one next time.
True. Very good.
Hey, Kem's a fret, you know.
Oh, it's every minute you want to turn him in.
Boy, we know you. We know we ending the NBA. We know we ending the NBA, but this game is turning out into a San Francisco game, and it's not looking. I don't know what Green Bay are doing, but the Green Bay defense is stepping up to the plate. But I can see you fretting, Kems.
No, me a fretting because Jimmy G and boy. I'm a Green Bay fan, Vincent.
No, man, I'm a Green Bay fan, man.
I have Jimmy G at quarterback for San Francisco. So I'm drinking latte and all. Quite compatible.
So you two guys, I'll use up your 2 seconds.
The later gents.
All right. But definitely, for stay in the course. Definitely 2 hours and change. Cream here, 1 hour and change. You guys enjoy. Remember, tomorrow we have our males podcast for sure. Big up everybody. Comment section, everyone who was listening but not commenting. Big up to the producer as usual. You'll be in the comment section tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
You want to give us none of your expertise?
Comments.
All right, Valim, take care. We'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bye.
Right, Kems, I hope I see you tomorrow.